Hey, January 30th. I just finished my 2 hours of writing today, so it brings me up to 8 hours this week. And I just wrote maybe the most powerful scenes I've ever written. It's a scene where Daisy and Jessica, mother-daughter, are talking in the film about their house. The house that Daisy's lived in. It's almost as old as her. She's been there for, her married life at least and on. And it was the only house that Jessica, the daughter, grew up in, and it's the only house that she's known, and it's always been home to her. And now that Daisy's getting old and, they're having that conversation of what to do with the house if Daisy moves on. As I'm writing this, it gets to a point, I wrote the scene out previously where it's all, we hear the dialogue, they go and banter back and forth of the reasons of what they would do with it, to sell it or rent it, and they talk about different things and Daisy's possessions, what would happen with those, her paintings, things of that nature. And my friend Seneca gave me a film. It has to do with architecture and such, and I haven't watched all of it yet, but there was a scene in it that we hear a man asking this lady about why does she like this certain building? And she starts to go on and tell him, oh, it's the structure and the colors and the, this and this. And he's like, no, I don't want to hear that. I want to hear, no, why does that building connect with you? What is it about that building that connects with you? And so she starts to give her answer, but the audience, we don't hear any of it. We're just seeing through a window, we're seeing her and this man talk. We see her getting emotional and her sharing these things. So we don't hear any of her words. We just watch it, and there's music that underscores. And that scene was really powerful when I saw it and when Seneca showed it to me. And I knew when I saw that was a scene that would probably work really well. And so as I'm going back through, it's about a 2.5, 3-page scene with this dialogue and such. When I got through basically about the first page, and then it gets to a point where they start to talk about, well, what is it about the house? And they started to talk about the memories. That's when we fade away from their voices, the music comes up and starts to play, and we just watch them. We watch this mother and daughter reconnect through old memories, laughter and tears. The daughter's husband is there involved in his experiences, and so he's involved in the picture. And just the last shot of this scene is we're outside the house looking through the front window that's framed beautifully of this mother and daughter with a husband and son-in-law kind of off to the side as we slowly start to pull away from this shot. We still have the music playing, and we still see the emotion and the love that's happening within that house. And wanted to read, so the scene, we were inside all that, then we cut to exterior home, night. We slowly pull away from the window frame that allows the scene of mother-daughter and daughter-mother relationships to nurture, grow, and mature in perfect love. The darkness of light kept out of the simple home, not by the physical structure of timber and nails, but by the power of love from within the living souls of family. I know it's kind of poetic for a script, or usually there's not a lot of poetry in scripts, but I'm starting to like to put some of that back, because it's a script. You're trying to catch the emotion of the scene. Yes, the script is a blueprint. And yes, how do you show, how do you capture the spirit of the script, the spirit of what I'm trying to say, the feeling of it, and capture and put it into this scene, into the movie. And also I believe there's more that you can write into a script, more of that kind of poetic stuff, because it helps, in my mind, it helps with the feeling that the actors are going to feel, or the emotions that are there. And so I've started to, I was kind of being directed and turned away from doing that. It's a hard document. This is what it is, because, and then the actors and all that stuff bring all the emotion things to the table. And I started push back against that line of thought, and no, there needs to be emotion, there needs to be feeling in the script as well. And those, you can use some colorful words and language, good language, beautiful words and such to help that emotion. And so the images that I have in my mind going through the scene again and simplifying it, showing more than telling, and hearing that music, beautiful music come in and stuff. And I try to capture what I'm feeling and the emotions into this scene. And so looking at this scene, is, I say it's maybe one of the best scenes I've ever written. Maybe not to anybody else, but to me, because I have lots of emotion with this, with having our own house that majority of my life I grew up in. And it was a house that my kids, we would go back to Idaho to see where, grandparents and have family stuff. We would go back to this home that was always that safe place of home. And, in the last few years, various things of how my father passed on, and, the house has been sold. And so as I'm writing this and feeling my way through this scene and thinking my way through this scene, that I'm having those own emotions of my connection with a similar, maybe sort of experience of sort of losing that home, that you realize that, yes, it's a special place and it was a great shelter and a great place, but it's a shell. It was about the memories and the people that were involved in it. And so even going through that, but as I wrote this scene again and revised it and tightened it up and made it much, much better, I just really connected those with my own feelings and experience. And so I hope that is portrayed in the script and eventually in the finished piece of the film. And so I think that's the essence of what writing is how does what I'm writing connect with me, with myself? How does it change my emotions or affect my emotions? I mean, I literally wrote and I had to stop because I was getting emotional writing that and thinking and feeling. And then how do you capture that on a script, put that into text, into words, letters on a page, non-living thing, and then give it to actors, and then you have a crew that looks at production design. How do you create this and hope that those feelings that I felt as I was doing this is transferred through the page back into those actors, into those physical non-living structures that we will film, in those locations we choose, to try to catch the essence and bring the audience and the viewer back to where the heart is out of the feeling that I have felt this little, these couple of hours working on this script, and especially this scene. And so that's what to me is what writing is. And wanted to share that with you because I think that's an important lesson that I've just learned and walked myself back through, and a lesson I've just learned more from. But also I think if you're serious about writing or any art, I would say, is how do you connect through your art with another human that connects with their own experiences that may be similar, may be completely different. It's still that, still connect with that humanness in a way that does it through art. So I just logged my time into my, on my writing hours document that I keep in my film Google spreadsheet stuff. Added my 2 hours, 30 January 2020. This was the second draft, second pass continues, pages 60 to 84, reviewed, revised. Worked the home scene with Jessica, Evan, and Daisy. Maybe most powerful scene I've ever written. It struck so true with my heart as I reflected on my own childhood home leaving me. And then it was 2 hours, figured in what I would love to be paid as a writer, an hour of that. And I go to the bottom of my hours, and I'm at almost 62 hours on this script that I've kept log of. And so I was just thinking about that. This is, this will be when this movie, I almost said if this movie gets made, when this movie gets made, it'll be my feature film number 6. And so that means I've written 5 others that have been produced. And I look over here on this shelf, and there's another 10 scripts that have at least a first draft, if not a few other drafts that are involved in that. And so I look at the time that I'm putting in writing, and I see progress from the first time I started writing till now. And so I want to look at you, if you're wanting to write and you're wondering maybe why your writing's not happening, maybe it's just simply you're not putting in the time. You read my stuff like, oh, I can write better than this guy. You probably can, but I'm going to beat you. If I've put in time and you're not putting in time, there's the catch. And so from me simply putting in the time and trying to improve, praying for guidance, praying for assistance, praying that my writing will increase and will prove that I'll understand the writing process, and then doing it over and over and over again, hour after hour after hour, year after year after year, to get better, to become a better writer. That I'm not where I want to be or hope to be or feel I need to be, but I've made progress, that I can look back and make progress. And I say that comes down to me to two things. One is praying to the Creator, and two is putting in the reps, putting in the hours. Really 62 hours on this script. Turquoise Rose was a whole lot more hours, hours and hours and hours for that film. And I think of a great example to me of somebody that would do this is Kobe Bryant. And I know I bring that up because he comes to mind because of him passing on a few days ago. But Kobe Bryant, I heard the story of when he was on the Olympic team. One of the trainers that were going had never worked with Kobe Bryant, had worked with some of the other all-stars that were on the team, but he talks about he was up late at night, the trainer was, and him going, you know, getting ready to go to bed early it was like, well, he says like 4 in the morning, just getting ready to go to sleep. And he gets a text from Kobe Bryant asking him, hey, can you come meet me at the gym? I want to do some work. And so the trainer gets down and says, yeah, I'll meet you in 15 minutes. Or so this trainer goes down there and Kobe Bryant's there. And so they spend an hour or two, you know, working from, well, like, I want to say it was like 4:30 to 6:30 or 7 in the morning for a couple of hours, just running Kobe through different drills. And so the trainer's like, oh, okay, well, good job. They worked hard. And the trainer said when he got there, Kobe was already sweating. You know, he'd been there for a while, already shooting around, working out. So the trainer gets there, they work 2 hours, and then the trainer goes back, hey, I've got to go get some sleep. They had practice was going to start at 11, and so he leaves. And then the trainer says, you know, he goes and catches a few hours of sleep, gets up and comes back to practice at 11. And he gets there, sees Kobe, and he goes over and asks Kobe, you know, how long did he stay or whatever. And Kobe says, I didn't leave. I was still here. And so he said I had 800 makes. He had to make 800 jump shots. He stayed for however many hours it took till he had 800 makes. That Kobe at that level had spent, you know, that many hours hitting those shots and working out. So that trainer was blown away that here's Kobe. I think at that time he's probably already an MVP and whatever, however many other awards on the Olympic team with all these other all-stars. And he had been there before 4 in the morning, and it was almost 11. That's however many 7-8 hours that he was already putting in, and practice hadn't even started yet. So he was just getting ready to go into practice, where all the rest of the players and stuff were just starting to show up to practice. And so I look at that and like, wow, no wonder Kobe was what he was. Look at the work he put in. And that goes across to so many people that are great, is because they're at that level and they continue to work, to put in the time, to put in the reps. And so relate that back to writing is put in the reps, put in the hours, put in the time, read, watch films, whatever your goal is that's what needs to happen to get to that next step. And so, yeah, if you see my writing and it should be something, you know, maybe you say, hey, I can write better than this, then write. Stop saying you can do it. Start walking, stop talking. So just the power of doing the work. When all the hype's gone, when nobody's watching, you know, how many people knew that Kobe was there at the gym shooting and working out that long? Probably nobody but that trainer, maybe the security guard or whatever that let him in. Maybe he had a key to get in, I don't know. But just think of that, yeah, what we saw and watched of Kobe on the court was like tiny percent of the time that he put in when nobody was watching. So go get after it.